Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. We're taking a look here at Injective, seeing once more what's going on. It's doing very, very well and maintaining a good price point here. We're going to pay attention to the volume and see if it continues to hold that level and if shorting might be worthwhile. And obviously to pay attention to some specific key level Fibonacci retracement lines here. Okay, so again, we're going to look at that much more. If you are new to the channel though, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I do love teaching people to trade. Been trading for over 20 years and this is just something I enjoy doing. All right, it's a full-time, awesome, just fantastic job, honestly, to be able to trade alongside some fantastic traders. Speaking of which, we got some really cool trading going on here with our Premium Plus group. If you're curious about that, these are some scalps. We're scalping the heck out of Solana, XRP, and BNB, taking some healthy profits along the way. Pretty consistent there. Same thing with our swing trades. I got VET, good 53% in a month. I don't mind waiting a month for 53%, but I do prefer 7 days, a nice little 60% there from Bake. So got some cool little swing trades going too as well. So thanks again so much for the wonderful feedback from my community members. If you want to be part of that, Crypto Cash Premium, link down below. I actually have a trading university and of course signals as well to help you kind of stay in the game and follow my trades if you decide you want to do that. So taking a look here at Injective, the thing we want to talk about is of course the daily. RSI is starting to finally calm down a little bit. We're still up over 70, have been for quite a while, since October 20th. That's almost getting closer to 2.5 weeks worth of trading in that range. That's a long time, okay? And again, as we've talked previously, this coin doesn't typically stay this high for this long, okay? Most of the time, it'll pull back within about a week or so. We've been up again for longer. So it does lead me to believe we're gonna probably see a correction here soon. Taking a quick look here at the volume, just a note, we can see the volume starting to slowly decrease as the price continues to increase. That's generally a recipe for a reversal, okay? So again, pay attention to volume. While we do have some good amount of volume support right here in the range, roughly about what, 0.382 if we zoom in a little bit, we're going to see that there's a lot of volume at lower levels, but still, there's no doubt that the price will pull back and retrace to one of those ranges, okay? So why don't we take a look at that in just a moment. Last thing to note, moving averages are doing just fine. We're still very bullish, by the way. Keep in mind, just because I mentioned that we're going to see a pullback doesn't mean I'm bearish and I'm just attaching myself to the bias that the price is going to drop like a rock. The price is going to retrace and pull back as necessary. What goes up must come down. Keep in mind, though, this is a very healthy continuation. So albeit we had a nice little pennant pattern there, broke out, came back up, came down to retest that previous resistance as a low, and hasn't looked back since, right? So we're still looking very, very good. But there's a lot of other things you want to kind of look at and be mindful of that we've had, quite a few impulse waves here. And the fact of the matter is, we are likely to see a pullback here after we see our new lower high, okay? So again, typically Elliott Wave will give you 3 higher highs and 2 higher lows to hit your 5. And then you'll see an ABC pattern. Okay? So the A is lower than the most recent 3, and the C is lower than the most recent 4. Okay? So essentially, we're going to likely see the price action pull back to this range of between, just say, $11.5 and just say loosely $14. Okay? So a pullback is potential. Again, it's somewhere between a 5 to 20% correction. Is it a guarantee? No, but it's a statistical probability it could and should happen. Under the impression this high doesn't break this high, okay? So if this way continues to go lower, there's a great chance we'll see it come down a lot lower than this most recent one here to fulfill its ABC pattern. Okay, so again, those are things I try to look for. So if I'm going to consider shorting this coin, that would be a consideration. But you got to recognize too, there is a liquidity level here that could very well get swept. This coin is very good at sweeping previous liquidity levels, like it's done multiple times in the past. But just know every time it does that, it sweeps it, it typically comes back. This time it didn't look back because we broke through a key level resistance. But this time here, once we swept that liquidity, it did come back to retest it as a low. Okay, so again, you can kind of see this rinse and repeat action. Price action breaks through a resistance level, comes back down to retest it as a low. You just got to recognize too, though, you can only do that for so long, right? You can only push up for so long. And if we take a look at the volume here as well, volume is starting to dissipate. While this is a weekend, we are starting to see the volume come down and the price going up. That's typically not a good sign, okay? Again, for the most part, it doesn't end well when that happens. Again, no guarantees, but statistical probability of further downside. Taking a look at the moving averages, we're still above both. That's a fantastic sign, no doubt about that. That is a very, very good thing. And we want to recognize that, okay? So why don't we just go ahead and draw out a trend line here, somewhat concurrent with the 50-day SMA, and just kind of see if we can stay above that level, okay? So truth be told, we're still bullish. There's no reason just to go crazy and short this coin. But if the price does wake up to somewhere in this range here, I'm going to be very, very intent on considering a short at that level, roughly about 16, just say $15 to $16, right? Again, liquidity sweep could come up again and continue the same old pattern where it just keeps on retracing, pulling back to the recent high and continuing upwards. But once more, this coin has been on a tear for days now, okay? We got to recognize we've been overextended since $9.50, and we're at about almost $16, okay? This coin, while it is correcting itself decently well recently, has a ton of fair value that has left to be filled. So once more, I do not think the price will drop super hard, super fast. I just think that we are due for a correction, that natural pullback that should occur here in the relative near future. Okay. Looking at the hourly, HMO cloud tells us we're kind of traveling within the cloud, no reason to take a trade. If the price confirms itself, just say trending closer to $14, retesting this most recent bottom, I think that's a good consideration for a short right then and there. So I'm going to go ahead and add alert right there to consider a short as well, or at least reevaluate and see if it's worthwhile. Okay? Now you're probably asking yourself, why not take a long at that point? Well, we're shifting momentum, and there's a good chance it could continue to pull back. A lot of it hinges on getting past this trend line and breaking below the 50-day estimate on the 4-hour. That to me is a pretty big fundamental catalyst. Speaking of which, I forgot to look at the 4-hour RSI. Is getting closer to 50. We lose 50 on the RSI, it's short city for me. Okay. Again, we're starting to see that divergence here. This is a hidden bearish divergence where the price action goes up and the RSI is coming down. Okay, so those are typically not great signs. Those are good signs for a trend reversal, but not good for your long position if you're considering leaving it open. Okay, so I would just recommend maybe taking some profits if you haven't already, because ultimately this coin does look like it wants to turn around. It is giving us some false positives here, if you will. All right, hopefully that made sense and I described that correctly. If it made sense to you, comment below. Do me a favor, like the like button, or just click it, whatever, and help me grow our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Jump on over. Be happy to help you out. And again, you'll be part of something bigger and some awesome trades. Be sure to check it out. We got some really, really sweet things going on over here. All right, we'll look forward to working with you. Have yourself a great rest of your day. See you in the next one. Take care.